Our talk at the club one day was of opportunity and determination. Some said opportunity was required for success and millions never had it. Others that only determination was needed. And then Jawkins joined in, all for determination. If a man was determined to get anything and stuck to it long enough, he got it, said Jawkins. Anything? Asked Turbot. Anything, Jawkins replied. So long as he sticks to it, and sticks to it hard enough and long enough, anything, whatever. Turbot disagreed. Life is like a race, Jawkins went on, in which they tire after a while and sit down, or get interested in something else instead. The man who keeps on wins the race. And suppose a man wanted to be skating champion of the Sahara, said Turbot, and could not afford the money to get there. He'd make the money, said Jawkins, and he'd build a skating rink in the Sahara and organize a competition there. He'd be skating champion, all right, if he really gave all his time to it. Could you tell us a case like that? Asked one of us. As a matter of fact, I can, said Jawkins. A very similar case. Let's hear it, said Turbot. There was a young fellow, said Jawkins, to whom his parents probably used to say the very things that we have been saying now, and very likely he, as many young fellows do, may have wanted to prove them wrong. I don't know. It was a long time ago. But whatever his motive was, he hit on a most extraordinary ambition and stuck to it. It was nothing less than to be appointed court acrobat. What? Said Turbot. Acrobat, Jawkins went on, to the court of the country in which he lived. What kind of country was that? Asked Turbot. Never mind what country it was, said Jawkins. And as a matter of fact, its customs were not so silly as you suppose. They had no post of court acrobat, and never had. But that didn't stop young Gorgeous. That was his name. He was a good athlete. When he came by his wild idea at about the age of 16 and had won the high jump and the hurdles and the 100 yards at his school, well, there was opportunity, argued Turbot, if he was born a good athlete. But wait a moment, said Jawkins. You don't remain an athlete all your life. And he still had to get the post created. How did he do that? Asked Turbot. Simply by sticking to it, said Jawkins. He went into politics. They all do in that country. But he went into them harder than anyone else and never gave up his ambition. Of course, he made speeches and fine ones on many other subjects, but all the while he stuck to his one idea. The years went by, and the day came when he had power enough to preach his ambition openly, and he told them how the glory of their country and of its ancient throne would be increased if the post of court acrobat were created. He gave examples of other courts and greater ones. Of course, many opposed him. That is politics. Of course, it took a long time. That is politics too. But as the years went by, he wore down opposing arguments till he had taught people what a lesson it would be to all the nations to have a young athlete at court, exhibiting perfect physical fitness, and how such an example would strengthen their soldiers and enable them finally to win the just rights of the nation in victorious battle against their accursed neighbors. And so the idea caught on, and to make a very long story short, the post of the court acrobat was duly created. Both parents of Gorgeous were by then long dead. By then, little remained to be done. He had only to stick for a few more days to that wild idea of his. And then, when the question rose of choosing an athlete to fill the newly made post, whom could they choose but the man who had worked for it all those years? So Gorgeous was appointed acrobat to the court and learned so late in life what always takes time, that his parents were right after all. It only remained then to inaugurate him. It must have taken him more than 60 years to do it, since first he came by that strange ambition of his. But he did it. Not many stick to a thing for so long. And Jawkins uttered a quiet sigh, so clearly mourning over some lost ambition that he himself had given up, that not even Turbot asked him what it was.